And do you worry? I worry that if I ever met Doc, I'd call him Cock by mistake. Do you worry about that? People get very upset on his program. At the end, they get very upset. They cry. Men and women, they cry. It's all right, though, isn't it, now, for men to cry in public, generally, you know? But one thing you will never see an upset man doing. You will never see an upset man going, I'll be all right in a minute, I'll be all right. No, I shouldn't have started, I knew I shouldn't have started talking about Why do you do that, girls? What is going on there? Are you trying to waft the tears back into your eyes? Is that what's going on? I mean, seriously, girls, if you could blow fluids back inside the human body, do you not think you'd see men sitting outside pubs and clubs on a Friday and Saturday night going, Makes no sense at all to me. But people cry on those programs. They cry at the end of X Factor as well, don't they? Particularly because the judges on those programs are very mean to the contestants frequently, you know? And I often wonder, what would Louis Walsh say if Louis Walsh walked into the room? What would Simon Cowell say if Simon Cowell walked into the room? What would they say about themselves? Louis Walsh, imagine that, you know? Well, Louis, I gotta say, you know, looking at you, you know, you got no style, you got no image, you know, you're just grey, you know, you got grey hair, grey eyes, grey face, you're like a ghost, you know? I mean, if you were casting the new Casper, the Friendly Ghost movie, we might be interested, you know? Well, I doubt it, because, you know, your speech is terrible. You got this shushy S thing going on there, you know? You don't even finish half your words or half your sentences, you know? And when you breathe, you breathe like a tired old dog. It's... So for me, Louis, it's a no. Simon. Well, look, tell you what. Simon, is it, you know, I'm looking at you thinking, I don't know who or what you are. I mean, you know, are you gay or straight? Why do you sound like a bored Tony Blair? I don't get it, you know. You have no discernible talent, you're just sort of there, talking. I mean, really, you are the most unskilled, rudest, worst dressed, multimillionaire television star the world has ever seen. I'm sorry, but you are. Bye-bye. Sorry about that. A better comedian like Stuart Lee would probably have made something out of that. He just said, you know, I'm now going to get some water, and he'd have done it on camera and improvised something about getting water and how embarrassing it was to have to get water during an act, and everyone would have laughed and it would have been really funny, but I'm not that comic, so what can I say? Now I've made it worse for myself by doing an impression of someone that most of you don't even know. Yeah. But I can't find, I don't know about you, I cannot find a radio station that I like anymore. Can you? I tried Radio 2. Radio 2, though, you cannot find great music and a great presenter at the same time, can you? The man I cannot listen to on Radio 2 at all is Ken Bruce. It's the sound of his voice. For me, Ken Bruce is the sound of grey, wet, empty mornings in the countryside, seen through UPVC windows. Ken Bruce is the sound of furry slippers and swirly carpets. Ken Bruce is the sound of a huge pile of ironing that you know will never get done. Ken Bruce is the sound of a poor man's Terry Wogan crossed with a poor man's Ronnie Corbett. Can't be doing it. I switched to the local radio, the independent radio. I tried Capital Radio, you know? Johnny Vaughan in the morning. He's so energetic though, isn't he? It's too much. And he's always doing these competitions first thing in the morning. Recently he had one on and he said, so, we want you to come up with a slogan for every nation's national lottery. The winner was Chaz in Chalk Farm, who said the slogan for the Eskimo lottery should be, you've got to be Inuit to win you it. I love it. I love it. Finally, I found Radio 4, but then they changed their announcer, Brian Perkins. You might not know his name, but you will know his voice. Brian Perkins used to do the news, he used to do the shipping forecast. They got rid of him, but at least now he is doing Talking Mills and Boone books. I took one out of the library the other day. It was a great listen. Sandra lay sprawled across the bed. Seth entered the room and looked at her naked, reclining body. Standing over her, he felt like a conquering Viking, 40s, Cromarty, 4th, Norfolk Series altitude. Rising slowly. Possibly 3 or 4 later if he's lucky. Generally, good. We've had silly season. I love the silly season in the summer in the news. You know, there were some great stories this year. Did you hear the one when Hugh Edwards said the presenter of Channel 4's How to Look Good Naked programme has had his kitchen broken into and ransacked? Yes, Gokwan's wok's gone. I love stories like that. Then there was a story that the weather people had lied to us. You remember that? Carol Kirkwood, you should be ashamed of yourself. In the summer, we were told the weathermen had lied. They'd said that we were going to have a good summer to make us feel good about ourselves, knowing it wasn't going to be that great. Naughty Carol. But we should not be surprised. We know the weather people lie to us. Even my favourite weather forecaster, Daniel Corbett, lies in the winter. You know Daniel Corbett? I'm sure you know Daniel Corbett. Daniel Corbett is the one who says things like, this weather system here is going to clear away by the afternoon. There it goes, out to sea. But look, another weather system comes down from the north. Look, here comes his friend. Hello, weather system's friend. Hello. And another system comes in from the east. Here he comes. Look at all these weather systems converging. Look at my hands. Am I a failed ballerina or just a little bit special? You decide. Yes, I'm very thin. My jacket's too big. I turn to the side, I disappear. I'm a head on a stick. That's your weather, for now. You know Daniel. Even Daniel lies in the winter. He talks about this thing called wind chill, doesn't he? He'll say things like, so, temperatures in the Midlands going to be about 10 degrees when this weather system clears away. But it's going to be a strong wind as well, and with that wind chill, don't forget, it's going to feel more like -2. That's your weather. But hang on a minute, Daniel. If it's going to feel like -2, surely it is -2, isn't it? I mean, they don't use this applied maths in other areas of the media, do they? You never heard Moira Stewart on the news say, the government have announced that the unemployed figures have now risen to 2.4 million, but it's going to feel more like 7. You never hear Gary Lineker on Match of the Day saying, Liverpool now 7 points behind Manchester United, but it's going to feel more like 18.